It's a great honor and a privilege to introduce Leo Braun. We're here in Jerusalem. Leo, if you could tell us about your origins, your family, where you came from, and when you were born.
I was born in Bonyad in 1921, in August. August the 8th.
Wow.
No, look, it's quite a few years that this happened.
Sure, and Bonyad,
It's 98 years, 99 almost.
it's in Hungary. You were born in
I
Hungary.
was born in Hungary.
And your family.
And I lived there 25 years, and I left.
And growing up, did you come from a religious family? Your parents were religious?
No, I got married in Bonyad, and after Bonyad, we went to America.
Okay, but can I ask your family growing up when you were? Was it a religious family? Your parents were Orthodox?
Yes, Orthodox.
And you went to a cheder, to a religious school?
I went to a religious school, and I went to yeshivas. That was in Bonyad Yeshiva I went. That was in other towns. Was yeshiva. I learned a couple of years. I put up something.
And what profession did your father do?
You see him?
Yeah, but what was his profession?
He was learning, not day and night. He was a businessman, and buying and selling wheat, all kind of wheat. He used to buy and send out to Germany and to England and to Italy.
Wheat?
Wheat, yes, in big.
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yes.
A full boat full.
Really?
They took a boat and they filled it up and they.
My grandparents also were exporting vegetables, I think, potatoes, no?
They were not. They were bringing to Bonyad a little bit, and they were selling it in the winter time.
No, I think they were selling in Greece and no.
From where they brought, I don't know,
Okay.
but I know they were
Also
exporting, but our store was bigger because he was a partner with his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law was partner, so they bought the stuff, and when they filled up a boat, it was going. They filled up a train, it was going to other countries.
And Leo, did you have brothers and sisters, siblings?
Yes, I had 4 sisters and 3 brothers.
And where were
We
you?
were 8 people. For my parents, there was 8 children. I was the second.
The second.
I had a sister. She was the first. I was second. And the boys were, 3 more boys were after me. And then came 3 more girls. That's 8, 4 and 4.
And did you have a happy childhood? Growing up, you were happy?
Yeah, very happy.
Did you have also non-Jewish friends? Or did you mix only with Jewish friends?
No, I went to only Jewish things I learned. Not only, I learned like gymnasium, 3 classes. First, second, and third. And the rest, I went to school in Bonyard. There was a Yiddish school, Yiddish teachers, and they were teaching the boys Yiddish and Hungarian.
Wow. And did you have any non-Jewish friends growing up? Did you mix with any non-Jewish children, or
No, I don't.
it was mainly in a Jewish
I
area?
mixed with them when I got 12 years old. Then all the 12 years old was supposed to go Sunday for an hour, not for an hour, 3 hours, to the Levante. You know, heard about Levante? Why not?
We didn't hear them.
It's
In Hungary, all the 12-year-old boys had to go to the Levante every Sunday for 3 hours.
There was a
And
part
I
of
was
the, it was part of the army.
This was a government thing. This is training young.
For the army, right?
For the army, like
Yeah,
cadets,
that's a
cadets.
training for the
Yeah.
army. We
And
like
the God night.
And did you go? Did you go to
you go every Sunday.
Scout.
every Sunday? And it was Jewish and not Jewish. Everybody mixed together.
That was mixed together. Yeah.
And Leo, do you remember when the war broke out in '39? And do you remember the Germans invading Hungary?
I wasn't home. When this happened in 1942, in 42 I was inducted to the Hungarian army.
Wow.
And I was inducted, and they took us to the Carpathian Mountains, and we were there almost a year. And after a year, the Germans lost, and I went home by foot. I walked home 3 weeks because I didn't want to depend on buses or trains or the Russians. The Russians had trucks. They used to ask me, "Come, I'll take you." But I never went with them. I always walked from Munkacs to Bonyard. That was 800 kilometers.
And you walked it?
I walked every day 50 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what happened when you came home?
Again, I found nothing. When I got home, I found in our house 4 horses. The Russians put them in, and it was full of dirt, full of dust, and it was everything they took out. What was in the house? There was nothing left but 4 horses.
And what had happened to your family?
My family took to Auschwitz.
The whole family, your brothers and sisters?
And my father could have been saved, but he didn't listen.
How could he have been saved?
For instance, I had a youngest brother, was 16 years old, and he sneaked into the people. Like I had how you call it? They worked for the government. How you called it?
Civil servants?
Munkatabor.
Oh, for forced labor.
Forced labor.
Forced labor. I worked on forced labor almost 2 years.
Wow.
That was the finish for my being a forced laborist. And that's why I wanted to get home as fast as I can, but I had no car, nothing. So I had to do it with my feet. And I walked every day 50 kilometers. I started out in Munkac. You know, Munkac is the bottom of the mountain from the
North.
It's in Ukraine now. Ukraine, right?
what?
It's in Ukraine. Ukraine.
Today.
Ukraine, no.
Today, the Munkac, sure.
No.
Oh, Munkac.
Yeah.
But then when I was
It was
there,
Hungary.
No, Slovakia. or
it
Hungary.
was
Hungary.
Hungary or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And I started out there because I was looking for the Jews. And I couldn't find either one of them.
Wow.
They took them away, and they were also to Auschwitz. They took them to
There
Auschwitz.
used to be a very big Jewish community in Munkac.
What?
There was a big Jewish community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
20,000 Jews.
Right.
And when you were there was no one left?
Not one.
Not one.
I went into somebody's house when I got him deliberated in Munkac. When I came down from the Carpathian Mountains, I went to look for Jews, but I didn't find the Jews. But I found their houses. They had all one family houses. I went there. I was there 5 days. I left him a letter. His name was Schwartz, and I told him I wrote him a letter before I left there, because I was there 5 days. I want to be one Shabbat there. And after Shabbat, I just picked up my rucksack and I start walking. 50 kilometers every day for 3 weeks.
Leo, can I ask, when you were in the military, when you were, did people know that you were Jewish?
Sure they know.
And did you have any anti-Semitism?
You know what why was I in the labor, forced labor?
Yeah.
Because I was a Jew.
And did you have any bad experiences with the Hungarians when you were in the forced labor?
Sure. Because there were 12 men who was watching us. They were Hungarians. They were Hungarian soldiers. And they wasn't so bad. They wasn't good either. So anyway, I went through with it, and I came home free. But I was free from my family. Terrible. You see, it's already, this happened. This happened when, in 1942, not 42, 44. 44, Munkac was liberated. When Munkac was liberated, I was liberated.
But the Germans were in Hungary then.
They weren't hungry, there was dead ones, only dead Germans.
The Germans?
I didn't see one live German soldier.
No, the Germans were there until
They were not there.
1945 April in
They
Hungary.
were not there, they were killed, all of them. In that,
You know, Budapest was liberated by the Russians, let's say liberated, in January 1945. Budapest.
45, yeah.
Okay, Bonyad maybe earlier.
Well, anyway, I did what I felt is right.
Sure.
That's what I could do. I couldn't do more.
Yeah, right.
If I walk I could.
Where did you find food, Leo? How did you get food?
How did
Food, the partisan, they gave us. They were up on the mountain.
No, after you came down from the mountain, when you were walking.
That's a different mountain.
No, when you came down from Munkac, And you're walking to Hungary. How did you get food?
I get food. I stopped every day after the 50 kilometers. I went into a house. I said, can I have a night's sleep? Oh, gladly. Oh, they were very nice to me. All of them.
These are not Jews, not Jews.
No, they were
They're not
not
Jews.
Jews. The Jews went home. They took them away.
Did they know that you were Jewish?
Who?
The people that let you
they
into the
knew-
houses.
They knew very well. They
But they let you in.
They were afraid of me. They thought I'm going to kill them all.
Wow. These were Hungarian peasants.
Yeah,
Peasants.
the Hungarians. But they were afraid because they knew that the Jews were taken away to Germany, and it's hurt them. And they said, for this we're going to pay.
Wow.
For this we're going to pay. And they paid for it. You know how many Goyim got killed? They got killed. Those who had a gun was shooting. I had a friend from Bonnyard. He came home with in his pocket, he had a gun. He was shooting them left and right. Nobody could stop him. Says, first they killed my family, and they running around here? No. They were shooting left and right. Those Jews who got guns, they were shooting. I didn't have a gun. I wasn't looking for it, but I could buy one. But I had no time. I was looking at my family.
And did any of your family survive? Any of your brothers or sisters?
Nobody survived.
Nobody survived.
I have one brother, the youngest brother survived. Why? Because he went into the people where they were working forced labor. He was with them. He was with them a couple of months, and he was liberated. He didn't go far as 25 kilometers, where they went, these soldiers, the armies. He went with them, and they fed him. He had a good time. But he asked my father, he should come over there. He was afraid.
And if he would have come over there, he would have survived.
He would survive, definitely. Just like when he took me to the Carpathian Mountains, I knew this is my place, that the Irish is going to help me, and I'll come home free. That's what happened. When I walked home and found my brother at home, I was happy. But that's what he doesn't live in Bonnyard. My brother lives in Los Angeles. I took him to America. When I was in America, I sent him papers, and I took him out to America. And he went to Los Angeles. And he's there for life.
And Leo, can I ask, when you first saw your brother, when you came back, it must have been very emotional when you saw him for the first time, the only survivor from your family.
Yeah, the only survivor. And I begged him. He didn't have money. I gave him money. I bought him visas. And that's how he got to America. I took him out.
And how many years had you not seen your brother? How many years were you separated?
No, not too many years. I was home in 1943. I saw him. And in 1944, 45, we met again. What did I do? I wrote a letter to Bonhard, to my address, and I wrote him, whoever is home, whoever is the Braun family, should come here. I'm outside Bonhard. I didn't go home straight. I stopped in Jánosholma. That was a town before Bonhard. And he read the letter. I wrote a letter to him, and in a week he was there. He came.
Why didn't you go to Bonhard directly? Why?
What?
Why didn't you go directly to Bonhard?
I went to Bonhard.
You said you went to János Paul.
Yeah, because that time the Germans were here and there.
Oh, there were still Germans in
Huh?
because there were still Germans in
A
Bonhard.
little, not too many.
Tell me, Leo,
When I got there was none.
did you have any experience with the Volksbund, or what it was called, the Schwabe, the Germans in Bonhard, who lived there?
Yeah,
Because it was a big center for the German
they
Hungarians.
were the same as them.
Yeah, the same as them.
Same as them.
Many of them were Nazis.
What?
Many of them were Nazis.
Yeah, probably.
They called it the Volksbund, right?
Yeah. Look, I did what I had to do.
Right.
That's what I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here now.
And yeah, when you got to Bonhard, were there many Jews left in the town?
Yeah, came back, yeah, few, not too many. When I got back, there were about maybe 50 or 60 boys from those who were in the
Forced labor.
by the work where I was. Where I
In the
was.
forced labor.
50, 60 boys.
Me?
It wasn't so many.
Maybe there were less.
Maybe 15.
Oh, yeah, you don't know.
Okay, but
She thinks she was there. You weren't
Look,
there. I
tell me,
was there.
when the people came back, like my uncle Hirschfeld,
Yeah,
that was around the same time, and he was also in forced labor.
Yeah.
That's when the men started coming
maybe
back
he was taken.
to Austria, I think.
You know that when I was in the Carpathian Mountains, they said that we were 210 boys,
Yeah.
that they're going to take you to Germany. And they wanted. But I told the guy who was by us, of the 12 people, I said to them, you're going towards Germany, but I don't want to go with you. You wait, you go ahead, and I come after you.
You said this to the Hungarian army?
Add to that,
People in the Hungarian army?
the Hungarian army who watched us.
Yeah, you commanders, let's say.
Yeah, the commander.
Let's say.
There were 12 boys.
Uh-huh. But 12 soldiers.
Soldiers, yeah.
Yeah.
In
Right, uniform.
the green one.
Yes.
A green.
Green uniforms.
I didn't have that. That's why I'm here, because some boys, the ears and the noses froze. That's how cold it was up there
Oh, in the Carpathian, in the mountains.
in the mountains.
Right, of course.
I was up there, but not mine. Mine didn't froze, because when I heard where we going, I bought the best coat and the best shoes what I had, and I dressed with that, and that saved me.
Did you go all the way high up on the Carpathian Mountains? Very high?
Very high.
And you were there in the winter time?
In the winter
In the
time,
winter.
we got there January 1944, and we came down
43.
end of July.
Uh-huh.
We came down and we walked towards Munkacs, and we were there. And there we didn't work anymore. We just we fooled around.
Can I ask, what type of work did you do? What type of work were you doing in the mountains? What were you doing?
Shoveling snow.
Just
But not
shoveling snow?
until July. What did you do in May? In
July,
May?
there was plenty snow in July.
In July
Yeah,
there was snow.
up
It was so
there.
high up. Uh-huh.
That's so high up, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was raining or snowing every day. I was there from January till July.
Well, why did you have to shovel the snow? Was it to prepare?
Oh, that you ask me?
I guess.
Why I had
Did
to?
it serve any purpose?
Because there was snow there. They
Now, why did the Germans need
Why
it?
did
For
the
transports?
Germans? Were they using transport?
they couldn't drive their
It was
trucks.
for to drive the trucks.
The German military.
That was my worry. If they could, they shouldn't be able to go.
Right.
But the thing was this, that there was so much snow, it took us months and months to get rid of it. Every day a little bit.
But there was a road, you cleared the road, the highway.
Cleared the road, yeah, there was a big road, like a double road,
Uh-huh. Like 2 lanes.
coming and going, 2 lanes, and there was a lot of snow.
And Leo, did they feed you? Did you get?
And we didn't sleep at night. We were shoveling at night.
And did they give you food? Did they give you?
Food. When they had, they gave us. Because, first of all, there wasn't too much food. But the partisans who were on the other mountain, they had a lot of food. And we got one day, I went up there, and I got to know them. There was Yiddish and Deutsch partisans,
Jewish and non-Jewish. Yeah.
and those they were in contact with the Russians. They helped the Russians to defeat the Germans because they were fixed up good, the Russian soldiers. And that's how it was.
And when you came back, how long did you stay in Bonya? When you came back after you were liberated?
No, how long? I stood about a year and a half.
And what did you do in that year and a
I
half?
went out for business. I had no money. I came back empty sacks.
Could you stay in your old house, in the house that you once
In the
owned?
house, no, I stood my cousin. I had a cousin in one of the houses, and he said, I give you a room and you can live here.
And your house, what happened to your house? I know there were horses when you came back,
It was dirt, 4 horses.
but who took over the
They're
house?
still there. I think this, because I didn't take them out.
You couldn't go back to that house.
I didn't want to go in. You couldn't go in because it's full of mud, and you stepped in mud.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to be there.
And what type of business did you do when you came back?
What I did before. I went out to buy eggs and wheat, whatever I found that it could be eaten, that's what I bought. I didn't have too much money, but somebody gave me. My brother had a few dollars, so I took it from him and I bought sugar and salt and all these things which were very hard to get. And I was selling that. I got a lot of money for
Were
that.
you selling it to the non-Jewish town
Not to
people?
non-Jewish.
Budapest.
That was only Jewish.
Only Jewish.
I had nothing to do with the non-Jewish.
Nothing after the war, nothing.
Nothing,
You bought
nothing.
these things from them.
Nothing. I was looking for, I should make money that I should be able to get out of Bunyad. I didn't want to live there. I said,
And Leo, can I ask, when you saw the townspeople from Bonya, when they saw you, how was the reaction?
I didn't see them. I didn't want to see them. I had a few people which I knew, but I was going only on my way. On my way, and I made some money until I got married, and we went out.
And you got married in Hungary.
We got married in Hungary, yeah.
But
On one street next to the shul. Next to the shul, they put up a chuppah.
And the shul still exists. Wasn't destroyed?
It was Arab Shavuos.
And the shul was still there. They never
They
destroyed.
were still there.
the Orthodox Jew, right?
Orthodox Jew.
Not the neolog, right?
No, that was the neolog. The Orthodox was full and the neolog was empty.
Uh-huh.
Hardly any people.
There was a minyan when you came back?
Huh?
Was there a minyan in the shul?
Yeah,
There was a rab.
There was a
not
rab after the war?
not one minyan more. There was more than 2 minyan.
Really?
They came slowly. They came back.
Who was the rabbi?
The rabbi was
Moskowitz.
Moskowitz, Rabbi Moskowitz. He was before the war. He was a Melamed.
Uh-huh.
I learned by him, and after the war, he became the Rav.
But what did the neolog Jews do? They started having services in the old synagogue? The neologs?
No, the Orthodox gave it to them. Says you take the shul and the cemetery.
Right.
There was 2
Right.
cemeteries. Take the cemetery, and the Orthodox they made everything new.
But after the war, the neologs also had a minyan? Enough people to have a minyan?
They had not too many.
Mhm.
They had a few people,
Uh-huh.
but their feeling was Orthodox.
Mhm.
Because there was, before the war, there was no neologs. There wasn't.
Sure there were.
But after the war, was also very few,
Very
very few. You said that you
My uncle,
your uncle
Hirschfeld, right?
Hirschfeld, he done by us.
Eisner, Mr. Eisner,
By-
done by you?
Eisner?
Eisner Janci.
Yes. No.
I don't know.
Because they were part of the
I was
neolog.
so busy
Yeah.
after the war to make money that I should be able to exist. That was only my thing. And when I did that, I got married and we left Bunyad after a year and a half.
How did you meet? How did the two of you meet?
How to? I knew her cousin. Her cousin was my friend, the same age. I said, and she came to a chasana, one of the brothers from the gold rings. When they got married, I was by the chuppah, and she was there, and after the chuppah, I went over to my friend. No. Did you speak to her? She said, no, I'll speak to her tonight. And I speak to her tonight. The next day, it was done.
You got married, and next day you got married?
Yeah, not married, but we
Engaged.
We went out a few times.
Was a quickie.
Ibi, where are you from? You're not from Bonnyard, right?
I was born in
Leo, can I just ask you, when you found out that your family weren't there, when you came back to the house and you just saw the horses, how soon after that did you find out that your family were taken to Auschwitz? Very soon afterwards.
I knew right away.
How did you know?
How do I know?
Yeah.
Siyata d'Shmaya. You know what Siyata
Of course,
d'Shmaya is?
sure.
That's what I was
You had
told, that they're not here. They're
Why?
far away.
It must have been devastating. Devastating.
I
for
was.
you.
I almost jumped from the first floor.
Aye. And Leo, can I just ask you, you wearing a kippah, you went through so much Gehenna and your family were taken to Auschwitz. Did you always keep your emunah, your faith? It's a very difficult question.
That question cannot be answered. And if I want to answer it, I have to think about it. But if I read in the paper that what happened to the Jews, that was enough.
Yeah.
That was enough. In the newspaper, brother, the English newspaper and any newspaper had it in the paper that what they did to the Jews.
Wow.
Everybody knew, especially those who were in it.
And when you were working in the mountains, did you have any idea what was going on?
No idea.
No idea.
I didn't know. In fact, in Munkash, there was not a Jew whom to ask. Whom to ask what happened to the Jews.
They were all deported to Auschwitz.
There was no Jew in town. Only a non-Jew. A non-Jew was in town, but I didn't want to ask him. He might be happy, or he might not be happy. I didn't know them. In Munkash, I didn't know the people. I knew a couple of Jews, I knew. But that's...
Tell me, Leo, when you lived in Bonnyard before the war, did you have any experience with non-Jews who were anti-Semitic? Was there any anti-Semitism there?
There was. Later on, the anti-Semitic was after that.
But before the war?
Because when I went to the Levant,
yes.
they used to start up with
the boys?
With the boys. But we fixed them up good. They never looked at the Jew. Never. Till I was in the Levant, when I became 21, they called me into every Sunday. I had to go with the Levant, and I went. That time there was no talking about that. Nobody knew what's going to happen. Nobody.
There was no anti-Semitism, you see.
No, there was not.
People got along. The Jews.
Yeah, they got along very much.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I had somebody with the horse, had 2 horses, and he used to take the stuff, bring it home, and I used to go with him to help to fill up the truck. And that's how we worked. We worked with them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew what's going to come. Nobody knew. I didn't know. I didn't even think of it.
Sure.
See, maybe your father also didn't. That's why he didn't want to go to the
Yeah,
labor.
it's possible. It's possible that he thinks this. No, he was. He wasn't like me. I wasn't like him, and he wasn't like me. I did what I thought it's good. And he thought the same thing. He thought the same thing what he thought was good. He sent me to the yeshiva, he sent me here, he sent me there. So he always did for me the best.
And Leo, have you ever been back to Hungary after the war?
Yes, I was back because I had my grandfather is buried there. You see the picture over there, one of them. But my grandmother is not buried there. They took her to Auschwitz.
How many?
And she was 96 years old when they took her. And I have an uncle here, my mother's brother, and he was also taken to Auschwitz. And he was a yeshiva Führer. Later on, when Hitler got alive and he started doing these things, was terrible. I wasn't there too much anymore.
How many times did you go back to Hungary after the war? After you lived in America, how many times did you
After
go
lived
back?
in America, I didn't go.
You never went back
Yeah, I went back to
to the
the
grave,
to the
to the cemetery.
Was it very difficult to go back?
what?
When you went back after many years, was it very difficult to go back?
Sure, it was difficult.
Very emotional.
I had where to stay. My cousin gave me an apartment because he had a big house and it was about 3-4 apartments. One apartment he gave me for my brother and for me, and we lived there for a while he was there. But after we got married, we didn't live over there anymore.
So what did you do after you got married? What did you do after you got married?
I left. I went to Budapest and I went to Germany back again. And from Germany, Bremerhaven, I went to America with
The two of you,
with
right?
the boat, yeah. And my brother didn't want to come with us. But then when he was back in Germany, he wrote the letters that he needs money, he needs this and that. But he couldn't come. First he threw me away and then he would like to take me back. But it doesn't work that way. But see, you see, I'm here and he is in Los Angeles.
That's a problem.
Sure.
What was your experience with the Russians? When the Russians
The Russians, the experiences was, I didn't want to talk to either one. They were sure. They called me, come, I'll take you to Solnok or take you here. I said, you don't take me nowhere. I was taken already a couple of times. So I don't like the Russians. The Russians are anti-Semites.
Russians are what?
Anti-Semites.
Anti-Semites, yeah.
You see today,
Not only anti-Semitic, they took many people from Hungary to Siberia for forced labor. They said malinka rabota, a little work, and they took them to Russia.
I know the Russians are no good. That's why I want to get out of there for good.
Yeah. So you had enough money to get to America for the boat and everything
It
else?
didn't cost me money. It cost me $50. I bought a visa. There was a Rav who got the visas for $50.
Oh.
And I bought two I bought 3 for my brother also, but he didn't use it.
So what?
He used it after that when I was in America already. Then he wrote me letters.
And Leo, what year did you go to America? In what year did you immigrate to America?
What happened?
What year?
When did you
When
get
did you go?
Here
46?
in 46.
46.
And you ended up in Brooklyn?
Huh?
You ended up in Brooklyn? You started in Brooklyn?
I didn't start in Brooklyn. Yes, I started in what's the name of that? Borough Park.
You started in Borough Park?
In Borough Park I
Why?
started.
Why?
Because I had a cousin there,
Because of
and and she wanted me I should live in the east side. I said, you started in the east side, I am not going to start it. I'm going to start where you live today. And
it was
first I took out a room,
right.
everything in it, and I lived there for a while. I started to work there. I made some money, and I bought myself a house.
When did you buy a house?
First, I rented a house, 4.5 rooms. That was in Borough Park, not in Borough Park, in Fort Hamilton Parkway.
Oh, right.
That's not far from there.
Oh,
So, and then when I started really work, and I made money, because if you work really, you make money. And I made money, I needed $5,000, and I had it
for a down payment?
for a down payment.
Yes.
For the down payment, I paid $5,000, and I had a house. In a few weeks, I moved in.
Really? That was, when you got to Borough Park, it was already Orthodox.
Orthodox?
The Borough Park was already a religious neighborhood
Yes,
when you got there.
yes, definitely. There was my neighbors across the street, all over. There was a few
Italians also.
Italians. But there was my neighbor, Italian. I lived next to him. And he had steps going up on his roof, and he could go up on my roof. It was built together. So all of a sudden, the roof was leaking. So I went, I had no chance that I shouldn't do it. I said, no, I'm going to do it. I fixed the roof and I make money. So I fixed the roof and everything was okay. And the house was good. At the end, my neighbor, the Italian, he took up the stuff to fix the roof. He took it up, and he was twice as old as me, 3 times. But he was a good man. For the garbage, when they took Shabbos, the garbage, he put always they have that where you throw the garbage outside, and he took all the neighbors, every Jewish, he took it and put it on his place.
Wow.
He was
And
I wouldn't do it. But
What was his name? You don't remember.
you know how many years that is?
Leo, what type of work did you do in America?
What?
What type of work did you do when you got to America?
When I got to America, I started with neckties. Why? I wanted to to work by cars. I was a crazy guy. I want to be and my cousin, I had a cousin also there, and said, if you want to be working with cars, you can be you'll be a Mechal Shabbos. Because he knew that I'm
keep Shabbat.
keeping Shabbat. I said, don't worry. So you know what? You have work for me? He says, yes. Because there was, right after the war, there was not too many workers.
Yeah.
So he gave me a job, and I started to, I didn't know how to sew a machine,
Wow.
the necktie machine. So he gave me, said, I'll give you a week, you study the machine, and you'll be okay. So I sit down, and I started, I never sit by a machine. So I sit down. In a week, in 2 days, I knew the machine and I was making ties. He didn't know that I'm so handy and I'm fast. So anyway, I had in a week, I said, I'm going to work piecework. Piecework, you pay more, you get more money. I said, because like this, he paid $25 a week. $25 a week, that's peanuts. I said, okay, I'll do it 1 week. And then I said to him, the next Sunday, I said to him, from now on, I'm a piece worker. I make myself a piece worker. Okay. He was satisfied. So he brought me piece, 12 dozen ties he brought me, and I made it in no time. They were looking, because I had 4 more others, which worked already years, and I worked it nicer and better. And the boss used to come in, look this tie. So he said, he made it. It's on me, he said. And from then on, I couldn't look at them because I was every day working faster and faster and faster. They didn't know that I never sit by machine.
Sure.
I didn't tell anybody. But I made it. I worked there 4 months till Christmas. Christmas is the laying off the workers because they had a lot of ties and they had to sell it first. But anyway, I didn't go back. I didn't like the place where people mixed up my work that I should be mixed up. He mixed, and I told my cousin, look what they did. So he didn't say nothing, but they didn't call me back after Christmas. So I went uptown in Manhattan, and I was looking for a new job. Now I was already the boss because I know how to do it. So I go into that place, say, Mr. Operator, he asked me in Yiddish. I said, I'm an operator. So he gave me a couple of dozens. I should make it. His eyes were open, more than mine. And he took it out, and he had to turn it over, he had to and do everything, and bring back a dozen ties. Shows it to the other workers. He shows it. See this tie? This is he made it. I had no name.
Sure.
He made it. He made it. And I was the fastest man on earth.
Sure. And when did you come to Israel? And you,
Came to Israel in 1968.
in 68, wow.
I was already there. I was already... Because I came from America to Israel. I didn't go to Boneyard. I came from America straight to Israel.
You were also in the catering business, no?
Yeah.
You were in catering also?
Catering
Here in Israel.
I think so, no?
in America, yes.
America.
In America was
catering.
catering.
But for smachot?
What?
For smachot? For happy occasion?
Smachot, yeah. Was smachot.
Yeah. In America.
Me?
In America.
In America.
No?
Where?
Okay.
Here in Israel. Only in Holland.
Okay. Leo, can I ask, what message can you give? You know, your experiences being in Hungary and with the war, and what message can you give to your grandchildren, to your children, to the next generation?
That I was hungry.
Now, what message can you give?
Message.
Your
I
advice.
was never hungry.
No, but what advice can you give?
Especially when I got to America, you don't have to be hungry. You get for pennies, you get everything to eat.
But what advice? What advice can you give to the youngsters, to the next generation?
They shouldn't go there. They should come here.
They should come to their own country.
That's I could give them. I worked here just like I started in America, and all over where I went. Instead, I made the same thing. I was doing everything you can think of. I started with the necktie, and with the neckties, I don't like it anymore. So I worked on pants, jackets, because there was work, but you have, this is only jackets we make here. We make only pants here. I learned everything.
So
Where was this? Around 34th Street? Where was that business? Where did you make the pants or the jackets? In Manhattan?
In Manhattan.
Where? Do you remember?
I remember. No, I don't remember the name.
There's a district where Jews were
But
making clothes.
don't
The
forget.
garment district. Remember?
Garment.
yeah.
Remember the garment district
Yes.
around 34th Street or something?
6,000 to 7,000.
I worked everything. Then after the pants, I became how you call it?
Contractor. Contractor.
I became a contractor,
A kablan?
a kablan.
For buildings?
I was building houses. I just went into building houses.
Were you building houses?
I was building I started in Bnei Barak.
Oh, in Israel.
When you came to Israel?
Yeah.
In America, you were also a kablan?
In America, I was a shupitz.
Making renovations.
Generation.
Oh,
Yeah.
shipputzim.
Generation.
Oh, in America, you made shipputzim.
In America?
Yeah.
Yes.
You made shipputzim in America?
Yeah, I did. I did new houses.
These old houses.
Wow.
For instance, in America, I bought a house with a basement. The basement wasn't finished. The house was finished, but the basement wasn't finished. I finished it with my son. My son, I finished the basement, and I put a sign into the paper. I'm a builder. I can build basements or anything, a house, whatever they want. So the people came, where did you make? Where? I said, come. I took them downstairs in my house. I lived there already because I finished the basement. And she comes in because she was my neighbor before. She had, so I said, this is the basement. He said, okay, so how do you want it? You want a tiach or you want a sheetrock? Just tell me what you want. You get anything, I'll make for you. And she says she wants tiach. I made mine with sheetrock. That was a new thing that time. If you want to do something, you can do it. If you, no matter what, you can make anything. And I did.
You learned it by yourself?
By myself.
Renovations, you learned it by yourself?
By myself. I made the renovation on my basement. I should have bought the house new. And the basement wasn't finished. I went ahead with my son. One Sunday we finished the basement.
One Sunday?
One Sunday.
As a beginner, you're beginners and you finished it in one Sunday?
Hired electricians.
Okay,
plumbers.
sure.
You don't have to be a beginner. If you put your head there, you can make anything. I could. I
That's
don't
the
know.
message.
Okay. So, Leo, we just want to wish you and your wife and your family Admei Vesrim in very good health, and you should have nachas. In fact, I just want to go through.
It's the same to you.
I'll just go. Larry, do you want to come as well? Larry, want to come as well?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Leo, we just want to wish you mazel and brocha
Amen.
and Admei Vesrim in
Same
very
to
good
you.
health and mazel for you and your dear family.
Thanks.
And you are amazing. You are an inspiration to all of us.
Yeah? Okay.
And thank you so much.
I try.
Thank you, Leo.
I look when the Yad Vashem came here with 4 grown-ups and pictures, making everything, and they wanted to know how I got up to here because this was already my 4th or 5th stop when I moved in
Yeah.
here. Because they came in here to this apartment. And they were very happy. They were very happy with me, and they called me to the office many times, 3-4 times. I should give them about Boneyard. I should give them what kind of town this is. Okay, I'll give you. So I went there a couple of times, a couple of hours. No, not 5 minutes. couple of hours, I went and they were riding, I was talking and they were riding, and then they called me to Yad Vashem a few times, and as they were talking about Yad Vashem, so and I was sitting there 4 or 5 hours, all afternoon.
Yeah. Leo, I have two questions for you. I used to go with my father and my uncle Hirschfeld. We used to walk into Borough Park to listen to Moshe Kushavitsky. Did you ever go to listen to him on Rosh Chodesh?
What?
Every Rosh
Did you listen to Kushavitsky?
Yeah.
Rosh Chodesh,
Yeah, not
in Borough
really.
Park.
Yeah.
And tell me, what nigun did your family sing for Lechodai? Do you remember? When you sang Zemiras, do you remember some nigunim from your parents'
I'll
table?
tell you, I remember Nigunim, but my throat is shut.
So next time,
It's not that when I went to a chazan, I knew all his chazones.
but the nigunim in Bonjad were the same as what you heard in Borough Park, or different?
Not much.
Not,
Familiars.
they were different.
Different,
A
right?
little different, yeah. I would say a little different. But for instance, we sang, we were not singers, we were singing what we could.
When you came back from the synagogue for Erev Shabbat,
Yeah.
did you sing Zemiras around the table? Zemirot?
Yeah. No, the Zemiras on the table was that my father brought it from where he came from. He came from, Mishkolsk.
Yes. Well, he came from the East Hungary.
My father was born in Forovent because his father was the Shaykh there and the Rav there, he was everything there. And when he came from there, he knew the way they sing there. To this day I sing it the way
His way.
the way he taught me.
I have a last question for you, if I may.
Okay.
Remember when you were, you're a big boy already, you're grown up.
No,
What was your
stop.
impression of Horthy, the regent of Hungary?
Who?
Horthy.
Quartin?
Horthy.
Horthy?
The governor of, the president of Hungary, of the
Yeah.
region. What did people think about him? Was that he was an anti-Semite? Or they liked him? What did the Jews think?
No, I didn't
They
hear.
had a lot of respect for them.
They had respect
And
for him?
even the Orthodox, even the Hasid, would go listen to him.
Would
Not
what?
to his minyan, but for a concert.
No,
Yes.
no, Horthy. He was the leader of
Horthy
Hungary.
Miklos.
Miklos Horthy.
Horthy Miklos.
Yes. What did the Jews think about him?
He had a Jewish
No,
son.
he wasn't
He had a Jewish son.
First of all, I didn't see him for only if I had a television I didn't have in those days. But we heard, I read in the paper, Ozest.
Esther.
That was a paper, a good paper, and he wrote about him. That's what I took him. That's how I.
But the Jews liked him, or the Jews didn't
Some of them liked him.
They respected
like him? Respect him?
Yeah, some of them liked him. And I wasn't angry at him because I saw him when I was in Budapest. I saw
You saw him?
Yeah. But he didn't do anything to me, so why should I hate him?
But we have his record, and We love to listen to it. We have many records, very good records. Kosovitsky, Martin,
Yeah.
everybody.
Here's a Rosenblatt.
Myself.
Okay.
They are all over my computer.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for coming.
Maybe
This is your family.
Yeah, this is my family. My father and my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather from my mother's side. And here is my grandmother from my father's side. You see all these pictures. And this, forget about it. Just don't make no pictures of that.
Leo, who is this on the right side with the
On
hand?
the right, my father.
Oh, that's your father. And on the left also, that's your
The
father?
left, no, the left is my wife's father.
Uh-huh. Nice looking man. Looks like a serious man.
Yeah, very, very serious. And
Thank
this
you,
was
Leo.
a time when he had to be serious.